Hi. Oh, it's great
How
to
are you?
see.
Hi, bud.
It's great to see you both. You look fantastic. Thank you for doing this. We have so much to talk about. I just watched the documentary last night and I was blown away. Siempre Luis means always Luis. That is how you sign all of your memos and letters. And
That's how I have signed my entire life, and sort of I'm very honored that then Lin Manuel took on the Siempre Luis, so the Siempre Lin Manuel, so now he'll live forever.
it was the cameras follow Luis around for a year. And I was watching it, and I know you guys pretty well, but I thought Lynn had a lot of energy. Luis, you are nonstop.
Well, that's what some people say. I am energetic, but by no means nonstop. I'm working on being nonstop.
You're always doing something, and it's. I mean, I know you have great energy and just fun, but wow, the work you put in. You came here from Puerto Rico, and you came to New York City. You worked on a number of political campaigns. You've always worked to help people in times of need. You get that from watching this, and both of you are so active in so many great causes. Lynn, is that something you learned from your dad?
Yeah, I think so. It always just sort of came with growing up. Other kids had paper routes, and I was registering voters in buildings. I was like the guy with the green paper and the clipboard. That was my teenage chore
Wow.
of choice. So it was, and then I also remember like going to toy drives as a kid. We always did the Three Kings Day toy drive every year, where we would get toys for kids for Three Kings Day. So yeah, there was always sort of an activism and sort of charity component of growing up. That's just came with the deal of living in our house.
Luis, you were hoping that Lynn would be a lawyer. Do you remember the moment you knew that he was going to be a performer?
I actually, throughout my life, I just pretended,
Look how he shakes his head, just
hoped,
so.
continue pushing. I figure I'll tire him out and he'll want to make me happy and be like Ruben Blades and also be a lawyer. But it was actually one day watching him on TV that he was with a chorus, a school performance, where it was so clear to my wife, Luz, and me that this kid was not going to be a lawyer, as he was flapping his hands and just being so animated. I looked at Luz and said, he's never going to be a lawyer. Though, those skills of flapping hands and stuff like that can be helpful for
Flapping hands.
legal.
That's what I do for a living.
Your Honor.
Flapping hands.
Your Honor. My client is innocent.
I object.
I mean,
It was clear. It was not happening.
yeah. Lynn, you tell a story in the documentary about the time you asked your dad for advice about your career. What did you ask him?
Yeah, I was. My first job out of college was teaching seventh grade English. And I found to my surprise that I really liked it. I love teaching. It's an incredibly rewarding profession. I think teachers should make like all the money. Like, I think we should just reverse the way society works, and teachers should get the inverse of what they are making. But I loved it, and I got offered a full-time job at the end of my first year, and I kind of saw two paths ahead of me. I saw the Mr. Holland's Opus path, where I live a very happy life teaching, but I never finished that play I was working on. But I genuinely loved it. And so I asked my dad, should I take the full-time job, or should I sort of say no to that and not have a job, but, have more time to write? And he actually sort of nudged me in the direction of pursuing my dream. And I'll always be grateful to him for that, even though he was, just on my shoulder to be a lawyer all through high school. He kind of realized you actually have to go for the thing you want.
Luis, do you remember writing that letter?
I remember writing that letter, and the advice came easy. I knew it was the right thing to do, even though I was smacking myself for giving that advice.
Flapping his arms.
Parents should be saying, go to work, take a job. But I knew that that was not his path. He would have been a great teacher. He probably would have created lots of Lin-Manuels in that classroom, but he would have not been the Lin-Manuel we love.
The one thing I took from it is that the work is never over. And you just have to just continue to wake up and you go, yeah, and you got to show up. And you got to show up for people and stand up for people. It was inspiring to watch. Everyone should watch Siempre Luis. What do you want people to take from it, Luis?
Two things. On the one hand, that even though the documentary is about me, I'm really just a placeholder for migrants, immigrants who come into this country and have to work the double shift in order to move their families forward. And two, that my most important job is being a dad. That's how we live forever, by being a good dad and creating a next generation that it's better than you.
I want to show a clip. Here's a look at Siempre Luis, out on HBO and HBO Max right now. Check this out.
If anything has come out of Hurricane Maria, is that it has brought together la diáspora puertorriqueña, Latina, our allies in the United States with Puerto Rico. And now, together, we cannot be stopped.
They're living in a hotel, they're looking for a place, they're looking for jobs, they're looking for schools for their kids, and on top of that, we're telling them, oh, and this is a historical election, and you got to be involved.
In November, los boricuas de la isla cannot elect the people who care about Puerto Rico, pero nosotros sí podemos.
Siempre Luis is on HBO and HBO Max now.
On and on and on. I said, and it's on.